20-year-olds can gain muscle and 70-year-olds can gain muscle. Everybody can gain muscle. Hey there, Coach Devin here. Do you lift weights? If you do lift weights, well, you should be lifting weights. But what's surprising to me sometimes is I'm often in this environment where I own a gym and I'm in the gym and I'm a trainer, and I sometimes forget that people don't always know that you need to lift weights. Lifting weights is super essential. If you're not lifting weights, you're doing yourself a disservice and you will cause some problems later on in life. Now, if you do lift weights, right up down below, let me know if you do lift weights and if you find that lifting weights helps you. All right, so let's talk a little bit about lifting weights and the importance of lifting weights. Now, weightlifting is super important for a number of reasons. But the most important one that we're going to talk to right away off the gun, number one, is as we age, we start to lose muscle. It's a fact. It would be great. I'd love to be able to tell you, hey, don't worry about it. You're never going to lose muscle. You're all good in the hood. It's not true. You will lose muscle about 35 to 40. You start to lose a percentage, 2 to 3%, give or take, of your muscle mass year in, year out. Okay, sometimes it's up to about 5%. It's a lot, depending on how sedentary your lifestyle is and how much you're, sitting around at a desk or on your thumbs, I guess. You got to do the thumbs nowadays because everybody's on their phone. I pretty much can run the whole business from my phone these days. Okay, so you start to lose percentages, and you would say, okay, well, say 3%. 3% of my body strength is not very much. Say I'm 40 years old, I lose 3%, and the next year I use 3%. Well, how much is that? It's only 6%. I won't even notice. It's true. You really won't notice that much. The problem is, though, that you will notice pretty quick down the road. Like with everything that comes into fitness, small changes over time add up to big things. If you exercise a little bit every day, so say you want to lose weight and you cut 200 calories out of your diet every single day, well, next time you know, if you're 10 days in, you're 2,000 calories in, 20 days in, you're 4,000 calories in. So little changes can make big changes on the backside of it. So exact same thing happens when we're talking about not lifting weights, no resistance style training. And lifting weights really is resistance training, right? It's forcing your body, it's putting stress on the body, making the muscle grow and stay stronger. So if you lose, say, 3% a year, in 10 years, you've lost 30% of your strength. And you may think, well, 3% a year is not much, but 30% is a ton. It is a lot. And it's going to make your ability to do the things you want to do in your life harder. But what happens is with that, if you've lost 30%, say you're 40 and then you hit 50 and you lost 25% of your body strength, that means a quarter of your strength is gone. If a quarter of your strength is gone, guess what? Now you have an issue, so you're going to do less. Why are you going to do less? Well, you'll do less very simply because of the fact that now you can do, it's harder to do those things you used to do every day. Say you're picking up groceries, and I'm a guy, I like to load up on the groceries and carry them all in one load, right? I don't know why, for some reason it's a mental thing for me. I always want to be able to do it all in one shot. I'm not sure why, but that's a thing. I don't know, maybe you do it too. I've heard a few clients that do it. Now, if you can't do that, right, and you're not loading up and carrying them all in one load, it's the next thing you cut down because you've lost 25% of your strength, so now you're going to carry fewer bags, make more loads, right? Well, every time you don't push yourself like that, now the problem exacerbates itself, gets worse. So if you don't push yourself because you've lost some strength, now that vicious cycle begins where you're doing less, which means you're going to lose more strength, and now you're losing 4% or whatever it is, or even if you continue losing 3% a year, by the time you're 60, you've lost somewhere between 40 to 60% of your entire strength of your body. That's how people get old. If you're somebody you see, some people in their 55 years old or 60 years old, and they seem very frail, they're not able to do things, it's because they haven't done anything. If you don't train for taking care of yourself in the long haul, which I think is what is maybe one of the most important things about weightlifting, you're doing yourself a disservice and you will get old faster. The big thing that I talk about all the time with clients is, and I've talked about it on here as well, I want to be able to do the same things I could do at 21 when I'm 65 or 70 or 80. I don't want to be limited in my life. I don't think anybody wants to be limited. We don't want to say, hey, I'm going to sit around, not do too much today. That sounds like a good idea. Nobody really wants to do that, and because people don't want to do that, then we're in a position where we need to push ourselves a little bit, and that is where resistance training comes in. I'm not talking working out, 5 hours a day. I'm not any of that stuff. You have to just do some. A little bit, like I said, goes a long way, because over time, you will continue either be able to grow more muscle, get more strength, or you'll just be able to maintain the strength you have. It's okay to maintain the strength you have at 40 till you're 80 or 70. That's totally cool. You don't have to be big and buff and huge. It's not a necessity. You just want to make sure that you're strong enough that you can do all the things in your life that you want to do. That is the number one most important reason you should resistance train. You should lift weights. You don't have to lift big weights. You don't have to do crazy stuff. You just want to be able to maintain the same level of lifestyle you have. It's sort of like, in a lot of ways, retiring. When you retire, you don't want to retire and be like, wow, I have way less money and more time. That would suck. If you have the same amount of money and more time, well, great, you can do the things you want to do. But if you have way less money now, well, guess what? Now you can't do anything. You're just sitting at home. Exact same thing applies in this situation. If you are older and you're retiring, or you have more time in general, but you can't do the things you want to do because you haven't taken care of your body, then you have a problem. And listen, don't fear that it's somehow, oh, I'm 45 or I'm 50 or I'm 60, I can't go back to that. Fitness, exercise, lifting weights, that stuff will help at any age. 20-year-olds can gain muscle and 70-year-olds can gain muscle. Everybody can gain muscle. That's the nice thing. It takes a little longer as you get older, but you still can do it. It's not over. It's not done. You're not like, oh, well, that's done. See you later. It doesn't work that way. You can gain muscle at any age. So if you're someone who's 60 years old, you haven't done anything your whole life, if you start today, tomorrow, you start right now and you're going to go out and work out a little bit, you will see a change in your body. You'll right away start to get stronger. You'll start to feel better. You start to be able to do those things you want to do, and your quality of life will improve. And that is the most important part. This is quality of life. No one's ever going to say to you, how much can you bench press, right? Nobody cares. I mean, maybe they might ask you when you're younger, but nobody really cares what you can bench press. But your quality of life is actually important. And quality of life means being able to do the things that you want to do when you want to do them without limits. That is quality of life, and that is what we all should be shooting for. If you have questions, comments, things you want me to talk about, write them up down below. I'd love to hear from you. I always respond to people, even if you call me names. Usually I'll respond to those too. I always get a few. Hope everybody's having an amazing day. Don't fight the awesome.